a player. I've been broke as a joke, I've been a money maker. I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator. I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Popping, locking, stopping, let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make the whole room drop and everybody sing. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Up jumps the middle.
Hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, a Fan-atical view. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this February 28th. Pretty chilly day out there as we end the month of February and turn that calendar to March. Let's get some spring-like weather back. It's been a little chilly out, but still no snow. We avoided that pretty much last night, so we are happy about that. And we are happy again that our man David Suero is El Diablo, DJ Malo, is directing the show again, because that means I can say hello to my right-hand man, Mr. Bob Rod Jr.,
hello,
who's
Scott.
behind the cameras. Hello there, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
And we can also say hello once again for a repeat performance to Kevin Gallagher, old friend.
How are you?
Good, Kevin. How you doing?
Very good.
Nice to see you. Have you back?
It's like deja vu all over again.
It really is. In years past, Kevin and I, of course, have done many an Oscar preview show on his Time Out with Kevin Gallagher show, and we've often talked about doing a recap.
Yeah.
And we said, you know what the heck, let's go ahead and do it this year. And we're going to do it right here, right now, 6:30 to 7. We only got 30 minutes, so we're going to have to move fast to get through it. But Kevin, of course, joins us. His show, Time Out with Kevin Gallagher, has been on the air here, Channel 23, for 23 years. And you've got your radio network programming going on.
Yep.
truthbetoldnetwork.org.
Yes.
That's where we can find Kevin. Of course, all his shows are all on YouTube as well. You want to fill in the blanks for me on any of that?
Well, with the radio network, you can download apps for iPhone. You can download apps for Android phone. You can also listen over TuneIn Radio. You can listen over an Alexa device. All you got to do is say, Alexa, play Truth Be Told Radio Network, and it's playing. So that's a whole bunch of different ways that you can listen. And just go to timeoutyoutube.com, and that will get you right to the YouTube page, and all those shows are up. The one we did last week is up, and I'll have this show up later tonight. So that's about it.
Kevin's always very good about keeping up with his, putting everything out online and making sure everybody, all his viewers and fans and subscribers can get it. I should be a little bit better like he is. One of these days he'll rub off on me, maybe, if I get him coming back here a couple more times. All right, Kevin, so Bob, I think, is not going to be much use, as you said before the show. He didn't watch the Oscars, and he didn't see many of the movies.
I'm just sitting here listening to this. The only thing I got for movies is this weekend.
Yes, let's talk about that. The Double Play Matinee is upon us this weekend at the Palace Danbury. What movies they got over there, Bob?
The Rookie and Field of Dreams.
Right. Two really good movies.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams is one of the all-time greats, and The Rookie is not too shabby as well. So, and the
No
movies,
Bull Durham?
No, no Bull Durham. I thought maybe in honor of Penny Marshall they could have played,
Right.
What's that one?
League of Their Own.
League of Their Own, right.
Yeah.
Doors open at 12, 1 o'clock. The Rookie starts there, and 30th anniversary screening of Field of Dreams at 4 o'clock. Right down on Main Street at the Palace Danbury in Danbury. Baseball card, photo booth, vendors, raffles, free admission.
Yeah.
Donations
Can't get wrong
are
with
accepted. So you can go check that out. All right, Kevin, so 30 years ago, there was no host on the Oscars. And now here we are again with the show that just went down with no host. What do we think? No problem?
No problem. I kind of liked it because it made the show very fast moving, and I noticed around 11 p.m. they were handing out the Oscar for Best Picture, and I'm like, wow, usually this is right around midnight.
Yeah.
And so without a host, they were able to really keep things moving as they were done presenting one thing. You had the people walking on stage to present the next set of awards. It was pretty cool, and watching Queen open up the thing was very cool.
Yeah, Queen came out to open the show in honor of course, Bohemian Rhapsody being one of the big movies that was nominated. And they were good. I guess Adam Lambert has been touring with them. I didn't really realize that they had been touring with them and playing. So they were totally amped up and ready to go. I kind of would have liked to seen Rami Malek get out there and perform and do something. But they did what they've been doing, and that was good to see. And then, of course, the three ladies came out right after them. Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and Maya Rudolph. They only did about 2.5 minutes or so they were even pretty quick.
Yeah.
I could have gone for a few more minutes of them, or at least a couple more. I do like them as a group, and they were pretty funny, but they kept it pretty short and got right into it, and then they gave it an award right out.
Yeah.
Best Actress in a Supporting Role, and it went to Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. So they got right into it right away, and I thought the pacing was definitely quicker.
Very quick.
I thought maybe it was a little bit hectic at times. It was almost too quick at times, but overall, like you said, it ended earlier.
It ended earlier, and I thought she gave one of the best acceptance speeches of the night.
She was good. I actually, I had to go back and rewatch that. I thought that it was starting at 8:30. I think they started it earlier this year as well, at 8.
At 8.
So I missed the actual beginning. I had to rewatch that. But that was maybe another reason why it ended a little bit earlier. I like the fact that they started at 8. They should have been doing that all along. I think usually they still have that red carpet thing going on at 8, and by 8:20 or so is when they get into it. But they got it going quick. So yeah, she was good, and that was nice. Actress in a supporting role, beating out Amy Adams, Marina de Tavia from Roma, Emma Stone, and Rachel Weisz, both from The Favorite. So that's how it got going, and then it was a whole bunch of other, secondary awards, and it was later in the evening when we got to the big surprises. Because it kind of went, according to plan. Otherwise, and then late in the evening, we had the big surprise first with Olivia Colman winning for The Favorite, which is a big shot. She seemed as surprised as anybody.
She seemed completely blown away. She was kind of like looking around like, oh, you mean me? Because the favorites in that, of course, you had
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close, you had Lady Gaga, and let me just tell you a funny story. I'm watching it, and my wife is sitting there with me on the couch. We're watching this, and I'm like, listen, who's going to win is probably going to be either Glenn Close or Lady Gaga, and that's probably going to be who wins. But I don't see this Olivia lady winning for The Favorite. And then they announced the award, and boy, do I look like an idiot.
There had to be a surprise somewhere, and that's where it came from. That was the first big one. I did not think she would win. I mean, and Glenn Close, she's
great actress.
Great actress, great career. She's been in so many fantastic pictures, and she won most of the lead-up awards, SAG, BAFTA, Golden Globes, and it seemed like she was definitely going to win it. And then all of a sudden it was Olivia Colman, and Olivia Colman even said to her, Glenn Close, you're my idol. I did not want to see it go down like this in her speech. And her speech was very animated, very funny, British actress. She had some of that British comedy and sense of humor. She doesn't really have very many credits. I mean, I was looking at it before last week's show. She's going to be on The Crown this year playing Queen Elizabeth. This was her first nomination, and she steals it. Let's get into a couple things. Glenn Close, 7 nominations, most by an actress to never win.
Wow.
Amy Adams is tied now right behind her with 6.
6.
Yeah, I knew she was close. I knew she had at least 5, but she is all the way up to 6 now as well. So she's hot on her heels for that. Peter O'Toole has 8. For an actor without a win.
And then they gave him like an honorary lifetime achievement.
And in memoriam, we saw Albert Finney was the final name listed there. He has 5 nominations without a win. Some other actors who have never won. A lot of these are kind of more modern. I do have a couple older names in here as well. I'll stick with the actors first. Tom Cruise, Jake Gyllenhaal, Ethan Hawke, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Joaquin Phoenix, Ed Norton, James Dean never won, Kirk Douglas never won, Richard Burton also has 7 nominations without a win.
Wow.
Some of the actresses, And of course, this year as well, Willem Dafoe and Sam Elliott and Bradley Cooper continued their streaks of not winning, as they were all up this year. Bradley Cooper now with 4. Viggo Mortensen also with 3, who was nominated this year, did not win. Willem Dafoe
Was he
4.
nominated for Lord of the Rings? I forget.
No, he was not.
He was not.
That was not one of his nominations. And Willem Dafoe, of course, his first one right there with Platoon. Sam Elliott, that was his first nomination.
Wow.
Some of the actresses who
That
never
blew me
won,
away.
Yeah.
Because he's been in hundreds of films.
Right. Sigourney Weaver, Annette Bening, Mia Farrow, never even nominated.
Wow.
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett, huh?
Salma Hayek. Laura Dern, one of my favorites. Michelle Pfeiffer has never won. Scarlett Johansson has never won. So some great, I mean, if you haven't won, you're still in some great company.
Yeah.
And,
even to be nominated for this award. I mean, you have the Oscars when you're dealing with film and everything else below it.
Right,
So.
and there we saw Melissa McCarthy, who has also never won. I think that was her second nomination. She was in for Can You Ever Forgive Me, along with, who was the other, Richard E. Grant, the two of them. In a movie, I didn't see this movie. I don't know that many people that actually saw, but it was supposed to be good. She was doing, a little bit more serious. We saw her do that in years past with, some one of the other things she was in with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
St. Vincent. Yeah. In
St.
years
Vincent.
past.
Yep.
So we know she can take that a little bit of a serious turn. Didn't work out for her this year. And that was a big surprise. And then Green Book wins Best Picture. Now, I related this a little bit. Last year, was it Lady Bird, I thought, was the movie that most people thought across the board was a good movie. So I thought maybe Lady Bird would sneak in and win. Of course, Shape of Water won it. Green Book, I thought the same way. If you talk to people who went to see movies, everyone was like, oh, I loved Green Book. It was really good. And now Lady Bird didn't get any real backlash. Green Book ended up getting some pretty serious backlash. It was about Dr. John Shirley, the musician, and his family and himself have really kind of blasted this movie. It's saying it was and there we see Mahershala Ali, who won for his interpretation, and we'll get into that topic in a minute, but we saw him there for Moonlight as well. But they didn't think it was a great characterization of him. So that can happen. I mean, there's always going to be creative liberty with any storytelling that's done. The thing that I had a bigger problem with was when they went and accepted the Oscar, they didn't mention Dr. Don Shirley at all.
Yeah.
In the acceptance speech.
Yeah.
How are you going to go out and win a movie based on a guy and then not mention his name at all? So
Kinda
that made
strange,
it kind of worse. I know
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen has made some comments and reached out to him and said we're, aware of their problems, and he kind of mended fences. But, I thought that was a little bit kind of crazy that didn't get it. And then I'm going to bring up, back to Shape of Water last year, and I'm going to bring up something else as well to Roma this year. And because Guillermo del Toro did give the Best Director award to, Roma director this year, who won it. And so Guillermo del Toro was brought up, there was a lawsuit brought against Shape of Water last year, which
didn't
was
know
kept
that.
pretty quiet.
Huh.
And
What
it's
for?
quite possible that was a complete hack job. The story was really, there was a play done years ago that had a lot of the very same elements from the story that he put out there. And I don't know what the end result was, if it's still pending, possibly. So that was disappointing. And I also know of a book, and I actually know the person who did the interpretation from Spanish to English called Cold Skin, which dealt with relationships between a man and a reptilian woman. So there's other stories out there, and it's possible he kind of stole that story idea, which wasn't great. And then so on, with the cinematography, Roma won it, and they also won directing. And Alfonso Cuarón won it for cinematography. So industry insiders, I know some people who work in the industry, and I've seen them this week talking about the fact that the director of photography, if you look at the notes from on set, is not Alfonso Cuarón, which would be the cinematographer. So he goes up there and accepts the award for cinematography when he had somebody else working as the DP, which is, who the cinematographer is. And I don't think in his speech as well, he made any mention of that at all.
No, he
So
didn't.
industry people that know the guy are speaking out on his behalf on social media and all that stuff. So that is also a little bit disappointing as far as that goes. But Roma did get directing, they did get cinematography, they did get Best Foreign Language Film. There was an interesting scenario that could have played out last week on the Oscars where he could have lost Foreign Language Film to Cold War, lost directing to, say,
And then won
Spike
Best
Lee,
Picture.
and then won Best Picture.
Yeah.
None of that actually played out.
It would
which
have
I thought
been
it
really
would've been-
humorous if it happened, you know.
Yeah,
But
you
I've
know?
always found it interesting when you have a situation where you have the best director, they win, and then the film that they directed is, say, nominated and it doesn't win, or the film itself is not nominated, and that has happened before, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, we've talked about that on your show a couple of times, Sarah.
Yeah.
It seemed to be more often in years past. The trend lately has been going away from that, where the director winning is not getting the best picture.
It's
as
not
well.
just automatic.
Right. So, and that happened again this year. I thought it would have been a little bit odd, really, to have the Best Foreign Language Film also win Best Picture. It's like, you got that. That's kind of your own category at that point. Do we need you to win Best Picture as well? So Green Book coming in and winning isn't, a terrible thing, I don't think, as far as that goes. And let's see, as far as who got the most awards, Bohemian Rhapsody did have the most, with 4 lead actor, best film, sound, editing, and sound mixing. As we see, Rami Malek won for lead actor. Were you surprised that he won that, or we kind of thought
No, not at
maybe
all. Not at all.
he was gonna
I'm
get
not
that?
surprised
He
at
got
all.
the lead ups, right?
Yeah, he got that. I expected him to win that. And I mean, I'm a bit jaded because, as I've said before, Queen is one of my all-time favorite. When you look at rock bands, just the innovation, the originality, the fact that a lot of people don't realize that Freddie Mercury, his parents immigrated out of Iran when the Shah came into power, and they immigrated into London, England. And Freddie Mercury, of course, is a stage name. I forget his actual name.
Right.
But he hid the fact that he was Iranian in descent, and because you had the whole thing with the Iranian hostages and et cetera, et cetera. And his parents were opera singers, so he got the benefit of some great chops from both sides of his family. And he's one of the best frontmen ever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
When you
could
think
play
about
second fiddle to
frontmen,
him, no
right.
problem.
Yep.
Him and Elvis are the two people I think of where you would have no problem playing second fiddle to either one of these guys.
Right. Yeah, I mean, definitely, without question, one of the all-time prototypical, like what you want as a big rock band frontman. You would say Freddie Mercury would certainly be on that list. Roma, Black Panther, and Green Book also got 3 awards. So it was divvied up quite a bit. Black Panther got, costume design, production design, and soundtrack as well.
Yep.
Original score.
Original score, yeah. So, I mean, those awards didn't surprise me at all. The ones that I found the most surprising really was the Best Actress. That was like, whoa, what happened? It's like I couldn't believe it. The stuff that Bohemian Rhapsody won for was all for sound production type of stuff, which is what I would expect.
Sound editing, sound mixing, film editing.
Yeah. And the film editing, if that's not done right with a film like this with a lot of music in it, you're going to kill the film.
Right. And also the thing to mention about Roma, again, Netflix doesn't come up with the best picture.
No.
I thought they could have had it last year. They didn't get it. And I don't even know that they were nominated last year. As they, there's a backlash against it as far as, Netflix coming in and doing their thing with that and maybe stealing some of these awards from people. But, you know, they're come a long way, and they're going to continue as far as that goes. Mudbound, I thought, was the best
Mudbound
picture
was
last
fantastic.
year,
That was a great film.
and it could have easily won. So we'll see what happens as far as going forward with Netflix.
You know, just as a side note, what's interesting, what's going on with Netflix is any of the Marvel TV shows that they had, like Daredevil and Punisher, they're quietly withdrawing. Marvel is withdrawing the rights that they extended to them, and so you got to wonder if they're going to turn on and do their own movies like they have been, because Marvel seems to excel in the movie theaters, and the DC characters seem to excel on TV.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one animated
yeah,
feature film,
that didn't surprise
ahead
me.
of Incredibles 2, which I think, Bob, you had Incredibles 2.
I
right?
was saying Incredibles 2 because that was a great film, and I haven't seen the Spider-Man one, but it didn't surprise me that it won.
All right, we're inside 10 minutes. I want to get to a few more things. I wanted to mention just some of the movies from last year, just to kind of recap overall what kind of year it was. I think it was a pretty good year. You know, we mentioned last week some of the maybe snubs, First Man and First Reformed, If Beale Street Could Talk. Also in the documentary category, Won't You Be My Neighbor was a huge success, especially when you consider the numbers it did monetarily for a documentary, and also Three Identical Strangers, and neither one of those were nominated. And then Free Solo beat out RGB, right?
Yeah.
So which was a little bit of a surprise. But other movies that were, you know, some of the bigger movies last year, some were flops maybe, but A Quiet Place, Avengers: Infinity War, Eighth Grade was another, I think, Netflix movie, real popular with teenagers. Widows, Crazy Rich Asians did very well. Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which was a very good movie. That was a Netflix project.
Yeah.
They were nominated for it in the music category. Solo, Star Wars, one of their projects, did okay. Aquaman and Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, the Ant-Man and the Wasp was better than the first Ant-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was better.
Much better.
It was a great
Creed
film.
2 didn't do that very well. Jurassic World was, I think, considered a flop.
Yeah, it's.
Death Wish,
After a while,
terrible.
you watch
Sicario, Dave
dinosaurs
Soldado was
Let me just ask you this
Deadpool 2
question.
didn't do very well either.
What is the story with the lack of original projects coming out of Hollywood? Why is it they have to go and remake everything?
Because
Stars
they
Born for the
think
fourth
they
time.
can do it better than they did the first time.
And it's like
And it's
there's
never going to happen.
There's some things, just leave it alone. It's fine.
I mean, you know, I'm surprised we haven't done
Stars Born,
Gone with the Wind, you know,
1954.
and screw that up.
Time. Stars Born, 1954. Judy Garland was starring in that
Garland.
one. 1976, of course, Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson, but yet they got to do it again. It was originally done in 1937.
Right.
Yeah, 4 times.
So they got to bring it back. And okay, so now we got to get to a couple more things as far as awards. Mahershala Ali gets his second win, which puts him into a pretty good company.
Number 2.
He was the first Muslim actor to win back when he won it for Moonlight. Second black actor now to win 2, joining Denzel Washington.
Okay. So he's in good company.
A very good company. There's 36 other actors have won 2. I won't name them all, but I'm going to name some of them. Spencer Tracy, Marlon Brando only won 2.
Wow.
Jack Lemmon, Robert De Niro, Michael Caine, Gene Hackman, Tom Hanks, who we were talking before the show.
2 years in a row.
2 in a row. Sean Penn, Christoph Waltz most recently.
Yeah.
Betty
Another great
Davis,
actor.
Kate Blanchett, Jane Fonda, Jessica Lange, Frances McDormand, Liz Taylor, Jodie Foster, Sally Field. They really liked her. They really liked her twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hilary Swank.
It's incredible.
Vivian Lee won 2.
2, huh?
All right, so above them, you want to take any crack at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who've won 3?
3.
You got any ideas on who's won 3, Kevin?
I would have said Spencer Tracy, but you said he won 2.
Mm-hmm.
Recent or?
Some are current, some, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
With her, what, how many nominations? 21, I think it is.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack
of course.
Nicholson,
Jack
yeah.
has got 3.
Three.
Ingrid Bergman
Wow.
for 3. Of course, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Walter Brennan, an old-time actor. I'm not real familiar with his work. But who has the most at 4? Not as many nominations as Streep at 21, or Jack are actually tied with as many nominations with Jack at 12. Betty Davis has 10 nominations as well. Yeah. But who has the most Oscars of all?
Who?
Female.
The most Oscars of all time?
Not Elizabeth Taylor.
For acting.
Right?
For acting.
Elizabeth Taylor?
No, she had 2. She was in that 2
Okay,
category.
she has in the 2.
There's a theater named after her in the state of Connecticut.
Katharine Hepburn?
Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn.
With 4. All right. What about the writing category, which brought home finally an Oscar for Spike Lee for Black Klansman? And he jumped for joy. What were your thoughts on Spike's antics? And
he had a little too much to drink. You know what I'm saying?
So?
I think
know,
just a little too much to drink. Just a touch too much to drink.
Spike Lee is a naturally jovial person. Spike is very serious and has very serious views. If you listen to any Spike Lee interview, you'll probably come away laughing because he's a comedian really by nature.
Yeah.
Very funny guy. I think he was just ecstatic, and his speech was decent, a little political, but not. I didn't think it was over the top. I did not think it was worthy of a Twitter rant of response or claims of racist whatever Donald Trump wanted to say about it. But of course, that's what he does. But it was kind of funny, Samuel L. Jackson giving him the update on the Knicks and how they broke their 18-game losing streak that night. And Trunks and Lee said we were supposed to be tanking. And then the line of the night afterwards was, anytime they make a movie about somebody driving somebody, I lose. Because he famously
driving Miss Daisy.
For Do the Right Thing when Driving Miss Daisy won.
Yeah,
and
Driving Miss Daisy.
Book,
Jessica Tandy and what's his name? Oh, no, my mind's going blank. Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, right. It was great for Spike to finally win. We know he's been snubbed in years past.
Oh, no.
1 minute.
So that was good. And then musically, they started with Queen, and Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper did their thing. I thought it was interesting to see Bette Midler still out there performing for the Mary Poppins. Good. Speaking of remakes, Bob.
Yeah.
Yep, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Oh, my God.
Did you bring your kids to that?
No.
All right. Well, Kevin, it was great to have you back.
Yeah, I hear they're remaking Star Wars. It's like, come on,
Well, I'll be looking forward to the next Star Wars. I think we'll finally see Princess Leia's character
die off.
Demise. Some people were disappointed. I thought, they had all the footage. Why get rid of her just because Carrie Fisher passed away?
Right.
You're doing her a disservice if you do that. She did all the work.
Bye.
Scott, thank you for having me on
Great
the last 2 weeks. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. Catch me on Friday nights, 8:30 p.m., Monday mornings at 11 a.m.
You got it. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.